Before I start this video, I just want to very clearly give a warning that this video will be talking about rape. It'll not be talking about the act in any explicit manner. However, it will be discussing situations that have been considered dubious that are, in my opinion, rape. And also, what I am qualifying as rape in this video, and what I think is pretty much the overall definition of what it is unconsensual sex. And this is either through manipulation, duress, trickery, by magical means or otherwise. Just wanted to get that out there, make it very clear to everyone that that's what I'm talking about. And here we go. So, Regina Mills is my favorite character on ABC's Once Upon a Time. She is bold, she is vivacious, she is snarky, and Lana Parrilla's acting abilities has the amazing thing of being able to make me cry and laugh in like the drop of a hat. She's so emotional and expressive that she literally brings Regina to life in a way that I think makes her such a satisfying character to watch. However, Regina is also a rapist. This is something that has been dismissed by one of the writers, Adam Harowitz, I believe is his name. He has often said that the relationship that many people qualify as rape, the relationship between Regina and the huntsman, is not rape. It was a consensual relationship. And for me, this has been something that has been a topic of major discussion for people who are huge fans of Regina and people who really hate Regina. That she is that she has never been brought to task for raping Graham, the huntsman. Now, I have never tried to dismiss or deny the fact, at least I hope I have not. You know, sometimes I could have said something stupid when I was younger. However, I feel like, well, I've never dismissed that Regina raped Graham. What I've always thought for a while was that the writers simply did not understand the complexities of female on male rape, which is very common for a lot of writers and a lot of shows. A lot of people are now, in the past couple of years, getting used to and processing the idea that men can be raped and can be raped by women. And so for me, a lot of it was at the time with Once Upon a Time, when it was first coming out, especially in this first season. This is like 2011, maybe? 2010, 2011. That the conversation just wasn't there for them to really have a nuanced understanding of what was happening. So while the scene between Regina and the huntsman is completely and utterly rape, the writers themselves, because of their own sort of ingrained, and I'm going to say kind of misogyny, did not see that act as rape. To them it's like a sexy BDSM, oh I'm in control thing, when really it is you're taking away Graham, the huntsman's ability to consent in order to have this relationship with Regina. And that was something that I thought, okay, this is undeniably rape, but the writers just don't understand this. Moving forward, they understand it because people have had a discussion with them that they will do better. Then Zelina appeared, and Zelina, you know, Zelina is in many ways the Callisto to Regina's Xena. Not because I think that Zelina is as good as a character as Callisto, because Callisto is amazing and Zelina is pretty basic. Zelina is sort of like a weird character because she's not very good, but the actress, Rebecca Mader, I believe her name is such a great actress and so good at playing the comedic notes of Zelina that I think that's why that character was brought back, not because she was really worth bringing back, but because the actress brought so much nuance to her and subtleties to the character that I think made it seem like she was better than she was, but Zelina's pretty basic. And Zelina rapes Robin Hood. She kills Marion, takes Marion's place, and over the course of, I believe, the back half of season 4, is having sex with Robin Hood, thinking that, you know, him thinking that that's his wife, and she becomes pregnant by Robin Hood. And it's all for the lulz. I think that's the most disturbing thing about Zelina raping the huntsman. It's all to fuck with Regina, to hurt Regina, to manipulate her sister because she's also her sister. And I think that, to me, is sort of like the cornerstone of like why I find Zelina's angst much less compelling than Regina's. Regina's angst comes from a lot of parental abuse that has been carried on through Rumpelstiltskin and sort of like her being very young and impressionable. Whereas Zelina is supposedly older when all this stuff happened because she's older than Regina. And yet, she really is not doing this out of, you know, the loss of a true love, which the show makes to be like a huge, huge loss, or, you know, the manipulations. It's more that she's jealous of Regina, and that's what motivates her to do all these things. And I find that to be just a very weak motivator for that character. I just don't particularly like how they turned the Wicked Witch of the West into this kind of cliche, jilted woman trope that we saw also in, you know, that stupid Oz movie that came out a couple years ago. And Zelina is also on this weird redemption song tour where, like, we're supposed to feel bad for her because she wants to be close to Regina again. She gave up her own true love in Hades or whatever to be with her sister. And, you know, she's like, you still blame me for Robin Hood's death. It's like, well, you also raped Robin Hood. Like, why are we not talking about this? And this leads into the issue of redemption. Can Regina be fully redeemed if her actions are not fully called out? And this is a constant thing I see with this show. Like, they always want to redeem people, except Cora. Cora gets like a bullshit redemption, but like, they always want to redeem people while ignoring the larger consequences of what they've done. And I think Rumpelstiltskin is kind of the mainlander, because I feel like Rumpelstiltskin is sort of seen as like this chess master. He's the chess master, and he is allowed to basically screw the rules, I have plot device. So he never really gets called out by anyone except Belle. And Belle keeps coming back to him because she's an idiot. Sorry, Belle shippers, but Belle in this incarnation of Once Upon a Time is stupid. She keeps making the exact same mistakes over and over and over again because she loves this man who has done nothing for her but make her give grandiose speeches every time they're together. And even, you know, her relationship with Rumpelstiltskin is a lot of duress as well. I mean, that's built into the Beauty and the Beast staple, a la the Disney version of it. But at the same time, it's like, you know, her getting back with Rumpelstiltskin at the end was based on a lie. You know, it's that dubious consent that's very disturbing. But again, no one calls him out for this except for Belle. But with Regina, there's constantly times where it's like, they don't trust me, they'll never trust me. And we're supposed to feel sad for Regina, which I, of course, do because I like that character. But taking away that enjoyment of the character, there's this other part of me that's like, well, that's not why you should want to redeem yourself. You should want to redeem yourself so that people can like you. You're redeeming yourself so that you can be better for the people who already love you. And in that way, I kind of think of Xena as a comparison, because Xena was also a redemption story. Xena was this warlord. She had slaughtered many people. And her story was about her making up for her past sins, but also realizing that she probably never could. It wasn't about making people love her or being trustworthy again. It was about redeeming herself to herself, about being a full person, having Gabrielle, you know, sullen to a certain degree. But it was about her being better because that's what she wanted to be. And it didn't matter if people didn't trust her, didn't love her, or didn't care about her. She was still going to save them and protect them and be better because that was what she wanted. That was how she was going to redeem herself. And that was what was so nuanced and brilliant about that character. You even see this kind of in Lost with Bo. I mean, she wants to, part of why she is the way she is she wants to redeem herself for what she's done in the past, but also realizing that, like, maybe she can never do that. And with Regina, there was this constant need for people to sort of, like be like, it's okay, it's gonna be fine, you are the new savior, you know what I mean? It's that constant need of being like, it's okay that you've raped people, that you've murdered so many people, you're good now, it doesn't matter. And it does matter. And I think this was so explicit in an episode in the Camelot arc where one of the knights tries to kill Regina because Regina killed his parents, and it sort of seemed like, this is terrible, Regina's good now, I can't believe you're doing this, blah, blah, blah. And it's kind of like, yeah, Regina's good now, but she's not in jail, she's not sort of like on a probation period, you know what I mean? And this isn't to say that I think that she needs to suffer more, but it's about actively not making it seem as though she deserves to have nothing happen to her. She deserves to have people call her out on her shit and not trust her. Maybe not so much the Charmings, because the Charmings are bullshit characters, but the world around her should want her to deal with her shit. And the show doesn't know if she should. And going back to the issue of Graham and if that's rape or not, in the scene essentially, Regina hires Graham the Huntsman to kill Snow White. He doesn't, duh. She takes his heart, and by taking his heart, she now has complete control over him. He has to obey what she says, or she can kill him. And in the Never-Ending Forest, or is that what it's called? The Never-Ending Forest? In whatever the fairy tale land is, she says, like, take him to my bedchambers. And that's rape. He cannot consent. He has to do it, otherwise he's gonna be killed. And then in the storybook world, you know, Graham and Regina are still having sex together, but she still has his heart, which means that he cannot fully consent to what they're doing. And as soon as he goes to have a relationship with someone else, with Emma, Regina kills him. So that makes it very clear that this is not a relationship with both teams on the same plateau here. Like, Regina's in control, and when she loses her control, she destroys him. And that's also never resolved. Apparently, according to the writers, Regina and Emma talked about it off screen, but it's like, that's not an off-screen conversation. Emma was in love with Graham, and like, really cared about him. Like, that crying scene was one of like the big moments of the show of like, yeah, Regina's really a villain, and it's sort of hand-waved now because Lana Parrilla and Regina are so popular of characters, you can't get rid of them. But it stifles her redemption. There are so many times in the show where you see Regina just do like these terrible things, in like season 2, for example, where she like slaughters a whole village and she's like, they'll never love me. It's like, well, duh. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, duh, of course they're never gonna love you. You just killed so many of them to get revenge on one stupid person who was like 12 at the time. Like, it's that kind of wishy-washiness of like, we want to show that Regina's evil by making her do terrible things, but now that she's on the road to redemption, it's okay that she killed all those people. It's okay because she feels sorry for it. There's not a real consequence for what she has done. And with Zelina being brought in and wanting to go on her own redemption journey now as a rapist, we now have to call into consideration that the writers have done this twice. They have 2 times made the Mills sisters rape men without being called out for beating. I mean, they said that Zelina violated Robin, but that's not good enough. She raped Robin Hood, and now she's raising their rape baby. And Robin Hood himself is not even allowed to really deal with the fact that he's been raped. It's kind of like, oh, now I'm a father. I have to talk about my future child. It's like, and that's a problem once upon a time that I'll talk about another time. It's like, they're so heteronormative and so biologically inclined. And as soon as he finds out that Zelina's pregnant, it's like, I'm a father. No, it's not that simple. It's not that easy. It's not just like, this woman raped me, she's pregnant, now I gotta raise this kid. No, and why would he? And he should be allowed to say that he doesn't want to. I mean, just the fact that it's never brought up that she should not be able to A, have the child, and B, you know, there are so many people, like, the fact that they want to take Zelina's baby away from her, like, why do they want to do this? She just wants to take care of the baby. She raped the father of that baby to have that baby. Why should she have that baby? It's ridiculous, and just because she cries and feels bad about it does not mean that she's good now. And it's this disturbing trend that they keep doing. I mean, like I said before, Rumpelstiltskin is constantly, like, manipulating Belle into getting back with him under dubious means. I mean, even with Neil and Emma, like, Neil's, like, over 100 years old when he is with Emma, who is 16, 17 years old when they start having sex, and that's why she has Henry when she's a teenager. It's like, that's weird. That's not okay. It's very dubious. Not okay at all. And yet the show has such a problem with having LGBT characters, but they are allowed to have basically rape just kind of like happenstance. Like, no, it happened. And it's a problem, I think, with like the genre of like anything that has magic in it, like Love Potion. Love Potion is rape, guys. Like, if you make people fall in love with you and you want to sleep with them or date them, that's rape. You know, Voldemort's the product of rape, according to J.K. Rowling. You know, because of the love potion that she put on Tom Riddle Sr. Like, that's rape. You know, shape-shifting to do that, just because Uther Pendragon did it doesn't mean it's not rape, okay? It's gross, it's rapey, and Once Upon a Time is continuing this trend, and it's so uncomfortable because they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with the things that they've set up. You've made these characters do horrible things. Well, they have to deal with it now. And not just in speeches, not just with their significant other or their one kid being like, you're good now, you promised me. It's like, no, they have to really deal with what it means to have murdered and raped and manipulated people for, in Rumpelstiltskin's, hundreds of years. But in Regina, in just one lifetime, she's killed hundreds of people, including children. She tried to kidnap a child and separate him from his father. In season 2, that whole arc was just so weird. And you know what they did with that? They ignored it. It's never brought up again. It's never brought up, like, you try to separate a child from the parent. It's like, nyeh, nyeh. And that's not okay. And I love Regina. I want Regina to be happy. I love her. But I think that the problem with Once Upon a Time is that they think that redemption comes with children, true love, and it's kind of like weird nuclear family hybrid. And I think that's a fatal flaw with the show. Happiness does not always mean children. It doesn't always mean being in a relationship. It means being happy with yourself. And Regina has never been happy with herself. And for her to really be redeemed is for her to acknowledge and deal with all that she's done and realize that, like, it doesn't matter if people will never love me or never get a happy ending. It needs to be about me finding my own internal happiness. And that was my whole problem with the whole happy ending narrative. It's like, Regina, you don't need to have a happy ending on the books to really redeem yourself. Like, I'm a hero now. I'll always be the villain. And because I was the villain, I'll never have a happy ending. It's like, well, dude, do you think that you need to have one? And why do you think that? And as long as she thinks that she deserves that happy ending, I feel like Regina will never really be on the redemption road. Because for her to really want to be on a redemption road, she has to be like, if I don't have a happy ending, that's okay. I'm going to work towards living my happiest, truest life by doing the right thing now. And she's not there yet. And I'm wondering how long it's going to take for her to get there. Maybe having a real conversation about Grant would be a good start.